I'm Tamara Holder, and this is Sports Court. Fantasy football is all fun and games unless you're an NCAA college athlete, because the organization considers it gambling, and any player caught playing fantasy sports will automatically lose 1 year of eligibility. Joining me with his thoughts is fantasy football expert Austin Jordan. Welcome, Austin.
Hi, Tamara. Honored to be here, and thank you for having me.
Thank you for being here. So I want to talk to you about this study by Sports Illustrated. It was back in 2012, 3 years ago. It revealed 18.7% of student athletes were involved in prize money fantasy leagues. So looking at the numbers and how much fantasy football and all other sports has gone up, we can probably assume that it's gone up at the college level too, right?
Absolutely. I can guarantee you that 18.7% number is nowhere close to accurate. I myself became a FanDuel partner in 2012 and DraftKings in 2014, and I have personally gotten thousands and thousands of fans to sign up in just that short period of time.
Do you know how many of your fans are actual college athletes?
I do not. I do not have those numbers.
Well, it's just interesting because even if we go with, almost 2% or something, we would say then a quarter or, a quarter of athletes, student athletes, play fantasy football. But I want to then draw your attention to these tweets from Mississippi State's athletic director, Scott Strickland. He says, listening to NCAA's Oliver Luck speak this morning in Dallas, he reminds that any athlete found to be gambling on college sports, including daily fantasies such as DraftKings, automatically loses a year eligibility. So this large percentage of college athletes that are engaging in this, are they not afraid of these numbers or losing the eligibility?
I can't put myself in their mindset. Obviously, they're kids. They're looking at it as a game and for fun. And hey, I might get lucky and make some money. But the NCAA, I mean, it's a privilege, and you always have to keep that in mind. And a lot of these kids we're talking about, they're probably on scholarships or partial scholarships. So they are indirectly getting paid, in my opinion, because they're getting free room and board, food, and an education, among other things. So, you kind of have to look at it both ways, I guess.
Right, but the argument is that this isn't gambling. And then, so I also want to bring your attention to the NCAA official rule, which is even more broad. It says 10.3 sports wagering. The NCAA opposes all forms of legal and illegal sports wagering, which has the potential to undermine the integrity of sports contests and jeopardizes the welfare of student athletes and the intercollegiate athletics communities. This looks like the fantasy players can't play fantasy at all, even if it's outside of college sports. Isn't there a discrepancy between the tweet and the rule?
I kind of see a little bit of one, but again, it all depends on who's saying it and what they're reading into. I mean, honestly, it's not in the structures that FanDuel and DraftKings and myself run. It's not illegal on a legal level. However, I can see where the NCAA is coming from, like on a personal level, because if you're risking money in hopes of winning money, then that kind of is a form of gambling. And plus, they're looking at the privilege they're giving these kids in the first place.
So your argument is essentially that the schools can make something that is legal, fantasy sports, they can make it illegal, for lack of a better word, if you're an NCAA athlete.
Yeah, I mean, it's much like all kinds of businesses. I think that you can put rules in place if you're a governing body, as long as they don't supersede the laws of the local, state, or federal government. I think that's fine, and I think that kids have to realize the privilege that they get, even though they have to follow certain rules.
Is it about rules, or is it about, are they worried about players fixing games? And if the answer is yes, then are we going to see with the NFL that their players can't then have their own fantasy leagues?
That's kind of a two-part question. The NCAA fixing games, I would hate to tempt young people with that, because obviously gambling is a huge industry. So that's really scary for me, and I think there's a lot of gray areas there. In terms of the NFL, I mean, anything that's good for the shield, in other words, that puts money in the pocket of the NFL, it's all good. I mean, after all, they allow NFL teams to partner with FanDuel and DraftKings, and the NFL is big business, so they're all about the bottom line.
But do you think that they're going to prevent their players from actually engaging in their own fantasy sports leagues?
I think as long as the NFL is making money off of it, no.
All right. Well, it's unfortunate that nobody can make money except the NFL and the NCAA. But I appreciate your opinion today. Thank you all for watching. Sports Court is adjourned.